welcome to Prime English BR. I'm Elaine Andrade. It's a pleasure to be here once again for one more class. As usual, if you want to follow, if you want to get all the videos posted here, consider subscribing with notifications, all right? Today's class is about expressions, and they always start with under the. Let's see them. First of all, we are going to start by reading the text, and then we're going to see each expression. Okay, let's get started. Because I was feeling a bit under the weather, I asked my team leader whether I could go home. He said it would be okay, but we needed to do that under the radar, because everybody was working under the gun, and he didn't want those people who get paid under the table to be saying under their breath that I am somehow favoring you. So here, as you can see, we have under the weather, under the radar, under the gun, under the table, and under their breath. Please do not try to translate any of these expressions. The best way to learn them is to have them in sentences. That's exactly what we have here. But now we are going to see one by one, all right? So the first one is because I was feeling a bit under the weather, okay? When you are feeling under the weather, you're feeling sick. You don't feel well. Something tells you that you're not so well. Example, oh no, I'm feeling a bit under the weather. I think I'm coming down with a cold. And you see the example, you are feeling a bit under the weather and you are coming down with a cold. So you're not sick exactly, but you are starting to be. So that's another phrasal verb that we use, come down with a cold, all right? Let's get back to the next one. We need to do that under the radar. When you do something under the radar, you can imagine, so the radar is here, you're doing something under it. Nobody's seen you, nobody can notice you, so you are under the radar. Let's see definition here. Not to be noticed, seen, or caught. Example, that horrible situation was under the radar for many years without being noticed. Nobody noticed that situation was happening. So that was under the radar for many years. All right? Next one. Everybody was working under the gun. It's very dangerous to translate it, right? Because as an expression, when you are working under the gun, you are pressured. You have to deliver something. Perhaps you have a tight deadline to meet, so you work under the gun. Let's see definition here. Pressure to do something, to have a deadline. Example, I've been invited to work in another country, so I'm under the gun to decide that. So you were invited to work in another country. It means you have to say yes, I go, or no, I stay. So you have this feeling of pressure, so you are under the gun to decide whether you go or not, all right? Next one, who get paid under the table. When something's done under the table, it's like a secret. I don't want anybody to see that, so I do things under the table. It's usually related to payments. Let's see definition. To pay an employee or person secretly, usually cash. Example, that companies was sued many times for paying people under the table. If a company pays employees under the table, this is illegal, right? So You can sue the company. You can take the company to court and say, hey, they're paying me under the table. I want my rights. Okay? Next one. To be saying under their breath that I am somehow favoring you. When you say something under your breath, you usually complain, quietly, something like this. I don't like to stay here anymore. I want to do something different. I want to go home now. You don't really want people to hear that, but you keep on complaining. You keep on saying things under your breath. Let's see definition. To say something quietly so that other people cannot hear, usually to complain. Let's go, they said under their breath. Now let's see our text once again. Because I was feeling a bit under the weather, I asked my team leader whether I could go home. He said it would be okay, but we need to do that under the radar because everybody was working under the gun and he didn't want those people who get paid under the table to be saying under their breath that I am somehow favoring you. So this is it for today. But before we go, tell me, are you feeling under the weather these days? Are you taking care of your health? I hope you are, okay? And how about work or your studies? Are you working under the gun? Yes, you have a tight deadline? Let us know. And last but not least, if you want to have a successful career, never do things under the radar and don't say things under your breath. Be open, be transparent, all right? This is it for today. Thanks for coming. If you like the video, give it thumbs up and subscribe with notifications. I'm Elaine Andrade from Prime English BR. I see you next class. Take care.